Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Jason Almazan from V-Neck Vaping, coming right back at you with another review. If you follow my YouTube channel, you might have seen I did a previous review in regards to the G-Plat wires and hot wires. Got a lot of great feedback from that. In fact, I actually got to work a little bit with the Vapinology team in regards to some of the things I pointed out with their wires. So with that, this technically is not really a part 2, but there are a few things that are going to be addressed from the previous wires that I'm going to bring up here. First of all, these wires are totally brand spanking new wires. They're not the original formula per se from the first G-Plats I tested. A couple things I wanted to point out again that I brought up in my last video is that on the original G-Plat wires, the two things that I pointed out and stuck out after a couple weeks of use was that one, they were somewhat stiffer compared to some of the other wires out there. I think the last review I did say there was also some oxidation issues. I'll retract the word rust for right now, but I just want to say that it wasn't the normal gunk left over from your juices. I did dry burn all the wires, you know, scraped them off and everything just to see what was going on. But I will say there was oxidation issues with the first generation G-Plats, and I addressed that with the team at Vapinology, and they admitted that there were some oxidation issues with those wires as well as with the stiffness of those wires. So with that and a few of the people that had similar experiences, the team at Vapinology, they took our feedback and they produced a new line of wires that as of this review aren't officially on the market yet, but they're going to be called the G-Plat Elites. This bag is just, again, just to show you, I'm reviewing the G-Plats. This, I heard, will not be the label for the new one, for the G-Plat Elites, but just to show you what I'll be reviewing here. I was able to get a sample pack of the 26, 24, and 22 gauge G-Plat Elite wires, and I must say the team at Vapinology, they hit it pretty hard with this new formula. The stiffness, it's way softer than what they were on the first generation G-Plats. I haven't seen any real oxidation issues like it did in the first round, so they definitely did change the formula of these wires, and I think they're great. I've been running these for about 2 weeks now, and I've been pretty happy with the wires. And with that, along with this review, I will be doing a slight comparison with another set of wires, and I'm from San Diego, for those that don't know. So these wires are readily available at many of the local vape shops here in San Diego, the G-Plats, as well as another line of wires called Royal Wires, right here. So just to show you the bag, I bought the 26, 24, and 28 gauges of these wires as well, so I can do a direct comparison, just because I wanted to. I did the hot wires review last time, which was great. Those are really awesome wires. But for this review, I'll be doing the G-Plat Elites and a little bit of the Royal Wires comparison. So again, I've been doing this for about 2 weeks. I want to address those issues for sure, the stiffness and the oxidation issues, which I would say are now gone. And I'm very happy with the pliable, the malleable, or the, I can't even speak now, the use of the stiffness and the softness of the wires. They're really great. A lot softer than before. So thank you to the team at Vapinology for hearing our constructive criticism and addressing those two main issues that at least I had and on this new round of Elite wires. I did test the 26, 24, and 22 gauge wires roughly around the same build, meaning each round was a 5/6 wrap, dual microcoil center post builds, which I learned from the Astronomo brothers, Chad and Rush. But I applied those builds each of these, and so I got roughly, I think, about 2.8 ohms on the 26 gauge 5/6 wrap and dual microcoil center post, and on the 24 gauge dual microcoil center post build I got about 1.8 ohms, and on the 22 gauge again 5/6 wrap dual microcoil center post build I got roughly about 1.2 ohms, which is about right considering your wires are getting thicker at that point. So with that said, I'm going to get to these wires here. So you know what I try to do? I try to get the builds when I do comparisons to be roughly on the same or close to the same type of mod and atomizer as well. You know, I mean, there's a chance for human error obviously, but I want to say, you know, I did my best to compare. Okay, so with that, again, these will, again, it's not the right bag, but I'm going to do a comparison about the G-Plat Elites and the Royal Wires. Oh, one other thing. There was a rumor going around, at least locally here in San Diego. By the way, these wires have been slowly making their way past San Diego, going out to Hawaii, you know, a whole bunch of other places. So, I mean, I give props to both companies there for being able to do that. You know, just supporting my local crew. There was a rumor going about that there might be lead in these wires. I want to say those rumors are false. I went out and went to Home Depot and got one of these little, you know, $10 lead, instant lead tests by 3M. You know, come like two of these little pins right here. I can tell I've been testing it vigorously. It's just yellow from the liquid that's in here. I want to say that if there was lead in these wires, the testing should have came out pink or red on the swabs, and they did not. I did test both wires, the G-Plat Elites and the Royal Wires, and I'm happy to say that there are no signs of lead in any of those wires. So I just want to make that clear. You know, if you don't believe me, go ahead and get that test. Go ahead and buy the lead test yourself. You know, use the swabs and feel free to check for yourself. But I've been pretty happy to know that there's no lead in these wires. Okay, so let's start with the wire comparison. Okay. Again, I'll be testing the 26 gauge, then the 24 gauge, and the 22 gauge. This is what I normally do, go from the thinner to the thicker ones. So again, I try to use similar mods and similar atomizers and similar builds, just to try to keep it as close as I can to you know, to all the different variables that we have with vaping and vapor production. So the first round, I have here the 26 gauge. I have two Grand Vapor Sentinels. One's an M16 and one's a V4. On both of them have a Nimbus atomizer. These are 5/6 wrap, running at, I think they're at 0.28 or 0.20 ohms. Again, 5/6 wrap, dual microcoil center post build. Again, the builds I learned from Rush and Chad Astronomo. Juices I was testing with mainly was, again, from Zen Vape Room, Persephone's Chi. We'll do a simple, just a simple show of. I'm not going to try to make the biggest clouds. I just want to show you what these can do, at least with the way I built them. So I have here on the V4 Sentinel, I have the G-Plat Elites, and I have here on my M16 the Royal Wires, both 26 gauge, running roughly about 0.28 ohms. Okay, so here's the Royal wire. Here's the G-Plat Elite wires. And here's the Royal Wires. Okay. Got the Nimbus. Nimbus holes are drilled out at 3/32 because these are 26 gauge. G-Plat Elites. Royal Wire. Again, Elite. Royal Wire. Pretty good, both flavors on point. Let's move up to the 24 gauge. For this round, I have the 24s built on some cheese. Let's see, these are still pretty juiced up. Again, these are a mix of Sony VTC 3 and 4 batteries. I have the same batteries on each mod, so if I'm using VTC 3s, they're both on on the same builds there. So again, 5/6 wrap, dual microcoil center post builds. These came out to roughly 0.18 ohms. I have here on the stainless steel Chi-Yu, I have the G-Plat Elites, and on the brass one I have the Royal Wires. Okay, just make sure I got the juice on them still. And the atomizers for these are Patriots. Let's see, and air holes are at 7/64 because these are at the 24 gauge level now. Oops, got the caps. Okay, this is we'll do the G-Plat Elites first. Okay. Again. One more. Awesome. Royal. Pretty good, not bad, not bad. Okay, let's move up to the 22 gauge. I have here Nemesis mods with IGO-Ws with clear caps. I have here in the stainless steel Nemesis, I have the G-Plat Elites, and on the my torched one, I have the Royal. Again, both 5/6 wraps, dual microcoil center post builds with cotton. And these came out to roughly, I believe, 0.12 ohms each. Let's make sure I got a little extra juice there. Again, so this is the G-Plat Elites. Oh, that's nuts. Okay, and these are the Royal Wires. Oh, just to point out, these were the ones I'm running VTC4s on. The other previous ones were all on VTC3s. Batteries are fully charged, by the way, before I did the review here. Let's see. Again, IGO-Ws, clear caps. G-Plat Elites. Now Royal. Let's get those center lined up. Both perform remarkably well. Flavor's on point. Vapor production's on point. So we have again similar builds on all different gauges. Try to get similar atomizers, similar mods, same juice, same batteries, at least between the appropriate builds. So I have a few conclusions I want to make about those wires. Okay, so after running through the builds for these wires for the past few weeks, just changing out the cotton, the wires themselves, I only actually built them twice, only because I didn't want to use the same build for each week. I did want to see what I got out of it. So I had a very weird conclusion on these. First of all, I want to say the G-Plat Elites totally addressed the issues I had with the stiffness and oxidation from the previous generation. So I want to say these are worth it to see if you can get some at your local vape shop. Royals, they're pretty good too. They perform very well. Very similar to the G-Plat Elites, but this is something that's kind of weird. If you looked at my last review with the hot wires and the G-Plats, Again, I mentioned the stiffness and the oxidation. Gone now on the new G-Plat Elites. On the Royal Wire, I don't know why, but the stiffness issues and the oxidation issues I had on the Royal Wires these past few weeks. Kind of reason why I wanted to do a second build on them. I don't know what causes that, really, as far as oxidation goes. I'm not a scientist, and again, I'm not going to try to figure out what these wires are made of. But I do want to say with the Royal Wires, they performed very, very, very similar, almost identical to the G-Plat version 1s, or at least the G-Plats that are currently out in the market. So, again, I made sure it's not the gunk from the juice, so the oxidation issues seem to somehow be apparent on the Royal Wires. I don't know if that's a bad thing for any one of you guys, but it's just something I noticed because I had those issues in the first G-Plats. So just want to point that out. The stiffness at the 24 and 22 gauge, I want to say very, very similar to the G-Plat version 1s. I'm calling them G-Plat version 1s because that's what's out right now. So with that, I'm going to have to make my nod now to the G-Plat wires, at least the Elite versions I have testing, because oxidation stiffness issues have been resolved. Again, these are entirely new formula of wires from Vapinology. They perform wonderfully. So, you know, I'm going to have to give my nod to them on this round. So I want to say, again, both wires are great. I ask you to do your own review to compare these two wires once the Elites are available to you. Again, both wires are great, but those are just something I noticed. So the Royal Wires have some issues that are very similar to the G-Plat version 1s I tested, and the new G-Plat Elites are way better than the first ones that were out for the public. Where you can get these, I'll try to put some links on the description for this video where you can get them, who you can contact. But I want to give a few thanks out to some people. To the G-Plat crew, I want to say thanks to Lee, Mark, James, and the rest of the Vapinology crew. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you guys giving me a sample pack of these to test for this review. I also want to thank my friends at Orbit Vapes for providing the Royal Wires. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you, Laura, Stephen, and crew. Sierra, all of them, Christina, and everyone else, Richard. Sorry, a lot of people's names. I'll probably go down the entire list for both crews, but I want to say thank you to both crews. Thanks again for Zen Vape Room for providing the Persephone's Chi. And yeah, I'm very impressed with the new G-Plat Elite wires. I highly recommend you go out and get them. Again, I'll put contact info for Lee or the rest of his crew on the bottom of this video in my description. And yeah, I'm very, very pleased that the Vapinology team addressed my initial observations with the wires in the first round and providing a new formula. And I'm very happy to inform you and the public that both these wires came up lead-free. So thanks again for your time. I'll do another review shortly on another product. And if you have any questions, please go ahead and feel free to contact me. Let me know your thoughts, see if you had similar experiences or different experiences. Alright? Well, thanks again for your time. This is Jason from VNEG Vaping signing off. And just remember, you know, boom, boom, it all